are, folks. Another crossover event comic with stuff in it I didn't understand reading it in real time, which will make my recap more enraging to people than hearing me pronounce Sanjani, Sanjani, whatever, for 40 minutes straight. We open with Ben in full, speaking of pronunciation, chasm attire, along with Janine. Ben is back from raiding another Beyond safe house, and he's promising retribution against he who took everything from him. Janine asks, what does any of this have to do with Ben getting his memories back? So Ben rants like a poorly written supervillain, which then brings us to Grand Central Terminal. Y'all know I'm not gonna let Marvel get away with calling this place Grand Central Station, right? It's a terminal, because train service terminates there. The station is the subway platform underneath the terminal, because subway service passes through Grand Central. Jesus, do I have to do everything around here? Anyway, Janine is having breakfast back where Michael Jordan's steakhouse used to be located, and I have to wonder if this is LeBron James' master marketing plan for being a restaurateur in New York City. Regardless, the cook starts making small talk with Janine, who talks about needing to leave someone and being in a tough spot. That's when a waitress comes by and tells the cook the world's dumbest lie, which is the dishwasher is 5 minutes away. I mean, I put the word in air quotes, and this dumb waitress might as well have done that too, because that's how patently obvious she is that this wasn't actually a dishwasher. It was like the cops or something. Anyway, good work, Barb. Seriously, it's a Nancy Pelosi clap for you. So Janine makes her getaway, first stabbing Jerry's hand with a fork and then cracking something. So we'll just say Jerry is going to be going to the funeral home 5 minutes away. Right, Barb? Anyway, Janine goes back to Ben and consents to burning the world down together with him. So Ben puts on the chasm mask and we fade into summer and some super 90s art. So Ben is mistaken for Peter by a big burly guy who is definitely not looking to shake Peter down for money. Ben tells the guy to go kick rocks, and after he mentions making his sweet aunt lie for him, we then flash over to a piece of skin in a petri dish, like you do, and it's Janine. And the skin is decades old and the key to something's ignition, and now I'm suddenly longing for the days of Secret Scrolls. That brings us to Ben marching into Limbo and seeing, okay, so Dan, which X-Men character is this? Is this Illyana Rasputin, Madeline Pryor? The remainder of this recap relies on you letting me know who this is.
Mark, as far as I can tell, this is Madeline Pryor, but I'm going to be honest with you, I barely even know who that is.
Yeah, you and me both, Dan, but I'll go with you, and I do think they confirm it later on, but I was still confused at the time. So anyway, the demons in Limbo are taunting Ben and then start fighting with each other, and my goodness, we're only halfway through this comic, Dan. Ben and the Limbo Queen go off, which brings us to a new artist, and it's Janine and Madeline, and a shout out to a free comic book day issue. Ben is calling for Limbo's army to lead an attack on New York. In exchange, he promises Madeline to help her get retribution against the people who outcast her too, which I'm assuming is something that happened in a next comic I will never read. That brings us to Madeline and Janine having a moment. Well, first Janine kind of accusing Madeline of making eyes at Ben, but then evolving into her complaining about feeling powerless in Limbo. So Madeline does some magic stuff and gives her some powers, transforming her into Hallows Eve. Yay, another supervillain. Now we're in winter, and like the season itself, this issue just starts feeling longer and longer. The shakedown guy is back to harass Ben, thinking he's Peter, so Ben beats him within inches of his life like a normal person does. So they bring the guy, Gus is his name, Gus. So they bring Gus, they bring him back to, and it is indeed Madeline. This is where they confirm it's Madeline. Madeline Pryor, so there we know that, and now she does more magic stuff and steals Gus's soul to liberate him. And then Ben and Madeline plot their revenge, and Ben wants to take Peter's soul, and this all makes so much sense to me.